In a land torn by ambition and bloodshed, where loyalty is as fleeting as the autumn leaves, the throne of Eldoria lies unclaimed. Two noble houses, each with their own vision for the future, stand poised to unleash chaos upon the realm. The whispers of war echo through the valleys, and the fate of a kingdom hangs by a thread. Meet Lady Eldoria, a fierce warrior with the heart of a lion. She believes that strength and honor will guide her family to rightful rule. Opposing her is Lord Cedric, a cunning strategist, whose eyes gleam with the promise of power. As the sun sets, casting long shadows over the battlefield, both know that only one can wear the crown. But this isn't just a fight for power, it's a battle for the soul of Eldoria. Each character carries the weight of their past, driven by love, betrayal, and the haunting specter of loss. As alliances are forged and broken, the true cost of ambition becomes painfully clear. With the air thick with tension, the first clash of swords will determine not just who reigns, but who survives. Will Eldoria's valor be enough to secure her family's legacy? Or will Cedric's treachery plunge the kingdom into darkness? As the drums of war begin to beat, the question lingers: what price are they willing to pay for the throne? In the heart of Eldoria, two noble houses vie for supremacy, each believing their claim to the throne is justified. Lady Eldoria, the last of her line, stands resolute in her ancestral castle, the banners of a family fluttering defiantly in the wind. With fiery red hair and piercing green eyes, she embodies the spirit of her ancestors, warriors who fought bravely to protect their realm. Her father, a noble lord, fell in battle, leaving her to shoulder the weight of their legacy. Eldoria's vision is clear: a kingdom united under her rule, where justice prevails and the common folk thrive. She gathers her loyal knights, each sworn to protect her with their lives. Among them is Sir Alaric, a seasoned warrior whose loyalty is unwavering. He believes in Eldoria's cause but knows the challenges that lie ahead. Meanwhile, in the shadowy halls of Castle Blackthorn, Lord Cedric plots his ascent. With dark hair and a calculating gaze, he's as charming as he is ruthless. His claim to the throne is rooted in a bloodline that intertwines with Eldoria's, but his ambitions are far more sinister. He envisions a kingdom ruled by fear, where power is seized through deception and manipulation. As Cedric gathers his supporters, whispers of alliances and betrayals fill the air. He approaches Lady Isolde, a fierce warrior with her own ambitions. "Join me, and together we shall reshape Eldoria," he promises, his voice smooth like silk. Isolde, driven by her desire for glory, contemplates his offer, knowing it could tip the scales of power. But Eldoria remains unaware of the brewing storm. In her heart, she believes that honor and valor will prevail. As she prepares for the challenges ahead, the tension between the two houses escalates, setting the stage for a conflict that will change the fate of Eldoria forever. As the days grow shorter and the winds turn cold, the realm of Eldoria feels the tremors of impending conflict. Rumors swirl like autumn leaves, carrying tales of betrayal and ambition. In the quiet halls of Castle Eldoria, Lady Eldoria stands before her council, her resolve unyielding. "We must prepare," she declares, her voice echoing against the stone walls. "The threat from Lord Cedric is real, and we cannot afford to be caught off guard." Her loyal knights, including Sir Alaric, nod in agreement, their faces etched with determination. They begin training harder than ever, honing their skills in anticipation of what's to come. The clang of swords and the thud of arrows fill the air, a symphony of preparation for the storm that looms on the horizon. Meanwhile, at Castle Blackthorn, Lord Cedric revels in the chaos he has sown. He meets with his supporters in secret, plotting a strategy that blends cunning with brute force. "The throne is ours for the taking," he urges, his voice low and persuasive. "We will strike when they least expect it, and the crown will be ours." Among his followers, Lady Isolde stands at the forefront, her heart racing with excitement. She knows that this is her chance to prove herself, but the weight of her choices bears heavily on her conscience. As she gazes into Cedric's eyes, she wonders if the path they tread will lead to glory or ruin. Back at Castle Eldoria, Eldoria receives word of Cedric's movements. He gathers forces. Sir Alaric warns, his brow furrowed with concern. We must act swiftly. Ilara's heart races. She knows that time is of the essence. The stakes have never been higher, and the fate of the kingdom rests on her shoulders. As the sun sets, casting a golden hue over the land, both houses prepare for the inevitable clash. The air crackles with tension, a prelude to the violence that will soon engulf Eldoria. With each passing moment, the storm gathers strength, and the clash of ideals becomes a fight for survival. The dawn of battle breaks over Eldoria, a grim reminder of the price of ambition. As the sun rises, its rays illuminate the fields where fate will be decided. Lady Ilara stands atop a hill, her heart pounding in her chest as she surveys her assembled forces. Clad in armor that gleams like the morning sun, she feels the weight of her ancestors' spirits guiding her. Today, we fight not just for the throne, but for the soul of our kingdom, she cries, her voice carrying across the ranks of her soldiers. The knights cheer, their swords raised high, ready to follow her into the fray. Among them, Sir Alaric grips his sword tightly, his loyalty to Ilara unwavering. He knows that the battle will be fierce, but he also understands the stakes. For honor, he shouts, rallying the troops. Meanwhile, at the opposing camp, Lord Cedric stands with a sinister smile, watching as his forces prepare. Let them come, he whispers to Lady Isolde, who stands by his side. They underestimate us. Their honor will be their downfall. His eyes glint with malice, a predator waiting to strike. As the two armies converge, the air thickens with tension. The sounds of clashing metal and the cries of warriors fill the battlefield, drowning out the last remnants of peace. Ilara charges forward, her heart racing as she leads her knights into the chaos. Every swing of her sword is fueled by the memories of a fallen father and the hope for a united Eldoria. But the battle is brutal. Cedric's forces, driven by cunning and ruthlessness, push back fiercely. Ilara finds herself face-to-face with a formidable opponent, a knight clad in black armor. As they clash, the world around them fades, leaving only the sound of steel against steel. She fights with all her might, her resolve unyielding. In the midst of the chaos, Sir Alaric spots Cedric and his followers. We must cut off the head of the serpent, he shouts, rallying a group of knights to follow him into the fray. They charge towards Cedric, determined to end the conflict before it spirals out of control. But as the battle rages on, the true cost of war begins to reveal itself. Blood spills on the ground, and cries of anguish echo through the air. In this moment of violence, the line between honor and ambition blurs, leaving both sides questioning what they are truly fighting for. The battlefield is a tapestry of chaos, painted with the colors of valor and despair. As the sun climbs higher, its rays cast an unforgiving light on the horrors unfolding. Lady Ilara fights valiantly, her heart pounding with each clash of swords, but the tide of battle begins to shift. The once united front of her knights starts to falter under the relentless assault of Cedric's forces. In the midst of the fray, Lady Isolde finds herself torn. She had pledged her loyalty to Cedric, yet her heart ached for the honor Ilara embodies. As she swings her sword against a foe, she catches a glimpse of Ilara battling fiercely, her spirit unbroken. Doubt creeps into Isolde's mind. What have I done? She whispers to herself, the weight of her choice is heavy upon her. Meanwhile, Sir Alaric fights alongside Ilara, his eyes scanning for any sign of weakness in their enemies. As he parries a blow, he notices a familiar face among Cedric's ranks, one of their own knights, Sir Garrick, who had sworn allegiance to Ilara. Betrayal cuts deeper than any sword. Garrick, Alaric shouts, disbelief etched across his face. How could you? Garrick smirks, his eyes glinting with malice. Survival, Alaric. It's a game of power, and I choose to be on the winning side. With that, he lunges forward, forcing Alaric to defend himself against a former friend. The clash of ideals becomes evident as Ilara and Cedric's forces collide. Ilara's commitment to honor and justice stands in stark contrast to Cedric's ruthless ambition. As the battle unfolds, the line between loyalty and betrayal blurs. Friends become foes, and the very fabric of camaraderie unravels amidst the bloodshed. Isolde, witnessing the turmoil, makes a fateful decision. In a moment of clarity, she turns her sword against Cedric's men, fighting alongside Eldora's knights. "For honor," she cries, her voice ringing out above the chaos. Her change of heart ignites a spark of hope among Eldora's forces, reminding them of their shared purpose. But the battle is far from over. As Eldora and Alaric rally their troops, they realize that the fight for the throne is not just a struggle against Cedric, but a test of their own convictions. With every swing of their swords, they must confront the shadows of betrayal and the light of loyalty, knowing that the outcome will shape the future of Eldoria. The battlefield rages on, a cacophony of clashing steel and anguished cries. Lady Eldora fights with renewed vigor, inspired by Isolde's defection. The sight of former foes joining her cause fuels her determination. "We must hold the line," she shouts, her voice piercing through the chaos. "For our families, for our future." As the sun reaches its zenith, casting long shadows over the combatants, the tide of battle begins to shift. Eldora, alongside Alaric and Isolde, leads a fierce charge against Cedric's forces. They cut through the ranks, their blades a whirlwind of justice and retribution. Each fallen enemy is a testament to their resolve, but the cost of victory weighs heavily on their hearts. In the midst of the chaos, Lord Cedric realizes that his carefully laid plans are unraveling. He watches as his soldiers falter, their morale shaken by Isolde's betrayal and the fierce resistance of Eldora's knights. Anger surges within him. "Regroup," he bellows, his voice cutting through the din. "We will not be defeated by a band of traitors." But as Cedric attempts to rally his troops, he finds himself confronted by Sir Alaric. "Your ambition ends here, Cedric," Alaric declares, stepping forward, sword raised high. The two knights lock eyes, each embodying the ideals they fight for. Cedric smirks, a flicker of arrogance in his gaze. "You think you can stop me? This kingdom will bow to my will." The two engage in a fierce duel, their swords clashing with a ferocity that echoes across the battlefield. Alaric fights not just for Eldora, but for the very soul of Eldoria. Each strike is fueled by his loyalty, his conviction stronger than ever. Meanwhile, Eldora and Isolde push forward, cutting through the chaos to reach Cedric. As they approach, they witness Alaric locked in combat with their former adversary. "We must support him," Eldora urges, charging into the fray. Just as the battle seems to reach its climax, a horn sounds from the distance. The ground trembles as reinforcements arrive, Eldora's allies from neighboring lands, drawn by tales of her bravery. The sight of fresh troops ignites hope among her warriors, and the tide of battle turns decisively. With renewed strength, Eldora's forces surge forward, pushing back Cedric's men. The realization dawns on Cedric that his ambitions may crumble before him. "Retreat," he shouts, desperation lacing his voice. But the chaos of battle has already taken its toll, and the path to escape is fraught with peril. As the sun begins to set, casting a crimson hue over the battlefield, the outcome hangs in the balance. Eldora knows that this moment could be the turning point in their struggle, but the cost of victory may still be steep. As the sun dips below the horizon, casting a somber glow over the battlefield, the echoes of war begin to fade. The ground is littered with the remnants of a fierce clash, fallen soldiers, broken weapons, and the haunting silence that follows chaos. Lady Eldora stands amidst the wreckage, her heart heavy with the weight of loss and victory intertwined. The cries of the wounded fill the air as medics rush to tend to those in need. Eldora moves through the remnants of the battlefield, her spirit both uplifted and crushed. Each face she recognizes brings a pang of sorrow. Friends and allies who fought bravely now lie silent. Among them, she finds Sir Alaric, blooded but alive, his eyes filled with determination. "We held our ground," he murmurs, a faint smile breaking through the pain. "But at what cost? We have won this battle, but the war is far from over." She glances toward the horizon, where Cedric's forces retreat into the shadows. The threat may have diminished, but the scars left behind will linger. In the days that follow, the kingdom begins to heal. Eldoria and her loyal knights work tirelessly to rebuild what was lost. They visit the families of those who perished, offering solace and support. Isolde, now fully embraced by Eldoria's cause, dedicates herself to aiding the wounded, her hands gentle and steady as she tends to their injuries. "We must honor their sacrifice," she says softly, her eyes reflecting the pain of remembrance. As the kingdom begins to mend, whispers of Cedric's next move circulate. Rumors suggest he is gathering allies in the shadows, plotting revenge against those who dared to defy him. He won't give up easily, Alaric warns, his brow furrowed with concern. "We must be vigilant." Eldoria nods, determination igniting within her. "Then we shall prepare. We will not let fear dictate our future." She gathers her council, strategizing their next steps. They discuss alliances, fortifications, and the importance of unity among the realms. "Together, we are stronger," she asserts, her voice resolute. But as they plan, a sense of unease lingers in the air. The cost of war has changed them all, and the shadows of betrayal still haunt their thoughts. Eldoria knows that trust must be rebuilt, both among her allies and within herself. The battle may have been won, but the true test lies ahead. As night falls over Eldoria, Eldoria gazes at the stars, each one a reminder of the lives lost and the hope that still flickers in the darkness. "We will rise again," she vows quietly, her heart set on forging a brighter future for her kingdom.